Bye-bye.
Oh, okay, sure. We didn't have to say anything about it's fine. It's fine.
No, 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 no. I'll just record, and if there's any pure gold in this opening conversation, then we'll be able to use it. But you never know what'll drop.
Never know, Simon. You might need to do some editing and take out some F-bombs there, but that's
oh, for
okay.
sure. No, we'll keep the F-bombs in, but it'll be all the humming and harring. Did you train today?
No, I had kids sport. I'll train later in the afternoon.
Yeah, Saturday's not an option, is it?
No, not for another 3 weeks. And then we are back on like Donkey Kong because kids sport is over. Woo!
What for the season?
Yeah, so rugby AFL just finished this week and then we have one more week of rugby.
Okay. Are you doing all codes?
We are doing AFL and rugby. I know, we're getting in.
Oh, well, got a lead from the front. You do CrossFit, you're a psychologist, and you have three kids. So you
Hmm.
you you should be in the thick of it. So we're going
Yes.
to ask anyone about being a parent, managing fitness and family and mental well-being. You'd be the person to speak to, right?
Well, hopefully. Well, it's a lot of pressure now.
Have you
Yes.
read Atomic Habits?
Do you know what? No,
You
I
haven't.
haven't actually. No.
Yeah. I
Should you
don't go
should
for that
really
pro science stuff. I'm more of a
I'm
text.
like you should have really just like send that through, so I could read it in preparation for your questions. No.
No, it's
No,
fine. It's fine.
I'm more of a fiction reader. I feel like there's a lot of non-fiction in my life. So
Yeah.
fiction is where we go.
So once you became a doctor, you just got all the books and threw them in the bin.
No, I have them on my bookshelf so that when I'm on Zoom calls, I look really smart.
I can't see them because you blocked them out.
Well, I block them out, but usually I have them there. Then I look really smart. And then I'm like, yes,
I got
correct. So
mine
now we
too.
just,
I got my books. I've got The Last Ronin with
oh,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I see. There you go.
Berserk. I don't know if you've read this. It's a Japanese anime. I mean,
Oh, no. No, I
yep.
haven't gone to Esme yet.
All the really important stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Escapism. So well-being, right? Balance. All about balance. Boom. There you
Exactly.
go.
Exactly. We're big on that. We're big on that. So
Correct.
what I want to open with is it's a quote
Yes.
from the book, right? And it's, as I said, Atomic Habits, really relevant to sort of for us, like keeping people motivated to train, the reward loop, and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Building habits. And in there, there's a
Yeah.
quote. We don't listen to this. This is the quote. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the levels of our system. And I just want to ask, as an opener, what
Hmm.
comes to mind when you hear that quote?
No, I think the first thing I think about is that idea of really needing to think about setting smart goals. That idea of, small, measurable, achievable, repeatable um goals.
Hmm.
Because I mean it makes sense, right? It's not about your goals because you I think, a lot of people go around going like, oh, I have these goals. I want to achieve this. I want to achieve that. In fitness, in life, with your family, with work. We set these goals and we think they look really cool. They sound really exciting. There's something that is really interesting. There's something that draws you to it. But I don't think that very often when we set goals, do people think about the actual steps it takes to get to those goals and
This is
whether, like, setting realistic goals, right? And also thinking about how do I keep measuring my progress as I'm getting to that goal.
mhm.
And that's where that I think that's where, it's about the system then, the system of how you're getting to those goals. Are you setting yourself steps that are achievable, that are attainable? Are these steps something that things that are going to be repeatable? Can you keep going on there? Um, I think it draws in that idea of motivation as well, that idea of um tracking, that idea of being realistic as well of how progress is going to go.
Mhm.
I think a lot of times, like, yeah, when I think about that idea as well, I was thinking yesterday about that, the thing around motivation and what was it? Motivation and discipline. And I think often people think that motivation is just going to happen. Like if I just push hard enough, motivation will come. Like you look at all the like the Fitspo and the influencers, like, oh, that, if I just keep following them, one day something will click and the motivation will happen. And then that's not true.
Mm,
Motivation is not something that's just going to be given to you. Motivation is going to wax and wane.
mm,
And that's when discipline comes in. I think that's where your systems are really important. You need to have systems in place, not just systems that are going to lead to outcomes, but also you need to have systems that also recognize that there are going to be times where you need to have a break, systems that recognize that there are going to be times where you will fail.
mm.
But there needs to be things in place to acknowledge that, to give compassion to that, and to have a plan for what happens when I get there. So, like for example, if I have a goal of, let's say, I want to run, like I use this analogy a lot at work as well, actually. I want to run marathon, right? I've never run before. I want to run like 42 kilometers. Well, then you have to have a smart system in terms of how am I going to get from 0 kilometers all the way to 42 kilometers? You need to start, like, you need to think about, okay, what's something that's going to be achievable that I can keep going, I can keep testing, I can keep doing it until I eventually reach to 42. But then there will come a point somewhere around like 18, 20 kilometers where you're like, "Fuck, I can't keep going. Every time I get to 18 kilometers, I can't push through. Like there seems to be this wall, I can't push through. Your system that you put in place needs to acknowledge that these things will happen. How are you going to hold yourself in that so
A
that you're not going to
contingency
go,
plan. Mm,
sorry?
a contingency plan.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. A contingency plan. So you're not just going to, well, it's all fucked now. That's it. I can't. It's ruined. I will never get there. I'm a failure.
Mm.
Because that's real life. That is just what's going to happen. Progress is never exponential. When you first start something, your progress will feel exponential, but at some point it will stop and then it will start tapering down. And that's the reality of anything that we do in life, right? Like I'm sure you see that a lot in the gym as well, like with fitness. When people first start, they get exponentially heaps fitter. They can lift way heavier. Even in psychology as well, like we do exposure, people get better so quickly with their anxiety, and then something happens and the progress is now not as a big leap anymore and it starts to taper off, and that's when that discipline comes in. That's when it's really important then for your, like, the system that you put in place needs to have that contingency plan, that awareness of, okay, this is what's happened, this is going to happen, what's my plan for out of this? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as parents as well, I mean, the derailing, um,
Yeah.
there's plenty of things that can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What,
You
what's
can put
have you got any specific systems in place for yourself?
in terms of,
From anything that you've put in play to help achieve. I mean, I've watched you come back after your third child,
mm,
and arguably you're probably fitter than you've ever been.
yeah, I
Yeah,
would agree with that.
yeah. Have there been systems that you've used to sort of get to that point, or have you gotten to the point where you have a habit that's in place? Are you pursuing
I
any?
think it's a I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of both. I think it's gone to a point now where like it is a habit because going to the gym and exercising, that's become that time that I look forward to as mine, and I make it very clear to the children, like, when I'm exercising, no one's talking to me. It's just 20 minutes. No one's talking to me. You only come to me if you're dying or if someone's hurt.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I will ignore all conversation. And so that's something that yeah, that is something that I look
I've
forward
witnessed,
to. Sorry?
I've witnessed this.
Correct. Exactly. There's a boundary. We hold that boundary. Um, so it's something that I look forward to that's for me. I think with three children, it's really easy to get lost in their stuff. Like people ask me what I do on the weekends. I'm like, I don't know, because it's just lost in their stuff. Like I spend all morning doing sport. I'm going to spend this afternoon doing more of their school stuff, and then tomorrow doing more sport and school stuff. So having that hour every day, or well, hour at the gym or 20 minutes at home, is really important to me. It keeps my sanity. So there's a bit of habit there. But I think too, some of that fitness has come from my desire for my children to see that women can be fit and strong as well, especially raising three boys and then wanting to keep up with them.
Hmm.
So I think there's that consistency element there as well. And I do think, yeah, like, so then from a systems perspective, I have put things in place um to ensure that I can keep going towards that goal. So like, there's going to the gym, and if I can't go to the gym, what can I do instead? What are some other things I do? But then also then making sure that I am watching out for burnout. So if there are times where, if there is a prolonged period where I am feeling tired, I'm fatigued, I can't get to the gym. Why is that? Maybe I do need to take time out and being kind to myself for that
Mm.
as well.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
so
the
being
constant,
kind to
like the
myself.
whole point of exercise is like pushing against the tide, So when people
Mm,
start to, feel like they're hitting struggle street, they probably think that's part of the process, that oh, I've just got to be harder on myself. I'm being too soft.
yeah. And
Mm,
I think over time it's realizing actually it's not. And
mm,
I think too with kids that it's going, actually it's not worth it. It's not worth it trying to do that. Like, trying to do a box jump if I know like my legs are jelly and I'm tired because I'm gonna hurt myself, I can't bear it anymore. So
mm.
then let's scale that. And I think by being more open to the idea of scaling workouts as well, it's meant that I think something that you've kind of mentioned a lot at the gym that I think only now I'm finally really getting as well is that the stimulus really wanting to make sure that you are working out to the target stimulus rather than just trying to go RX everything.
Mm.
I think before children it was like, I need to RX, I need to RX, I need to be able to tick that RX box. So it might be like, in a workout, I might be dying, but then I'm not hitting the right stimulus. Where I think now
RX
it's,
is like doing the workout as prescribed.
yeah, that's right, doing the workout as prescribed, but then I'm not hitting the right stimulus. I might be like, I might be lifting a really heavy bar, but then having heaps of rest. I
Mm.
might be doing burpee box jumps, but then doing one every 10 seconds rather than scaling it and going, all right, I'll do a step up
Like
because
a
that's
lower
where I'm
box.
at.
Yeah, yeah.
But then that means I'm hitting the right target stimulus and I'm going. And I think having that mindset has been really helpful as well,
Hmm.
um, for that. And then also recognizing that in that system too of like wanting to reach goals around fitness and all of that, it's not just about the gym. I
Yep.
think it's starting to respect that it's about all the other things as well. It's
Hmm.
about my nutrition, it's about what I'm eating, it's about the amount of rest I'm having, it's about what I'm doing outside of just the gym.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, like I think in the past it was just very like, okay, well, I go to gym, I do the things, so I should be super fit and healthy. Where I think now it's more like, oh, actually, what I'm eating, what I'm doing outside, mindset is all really important as well. Um, yeah,
Okay,
I
so
think that's been the big change.
the and it's more specifically about mental health. Um, and we know that exercise is beneficial for mental health. I mean, there's lots of data about that, and people are probably aware of it.
Mm,
They probably don't know specifically exactly what. They probably know they finish a workout and they feel better. And
hmm
obviously, I mean, the amount of times I've felt like I'm in absolutely no mood to do a workout. I just know that the it's common sense now for me that if I do the
hmm
workout, I feel better. It's almost hard to believe. Um,
Mm,
what do we actually know about how training affects um, like my mood and my mindset? What what is
mm.
what do we actually know?
Like exercise, I think more recently there's been more of an awareness and push for that as well. Even in psychology too, when people come in and they're anxious and depressed, there's a lot more of a push for people to actually start exercising because we know that when people exercise, it does trigger the release of endorphins. It triggers release of dopamine and serotonin, and those are all your feel-good hormones. They make you feel good from a hormonal level. So like from a neurological level, you're doing something that actually makes you feel really good.
Hmm.
When you engage in physical activity as well, it also lowers the stress hormone in your body, cortisol, which then helps you to feel a lot calmer and more in control.
Hmm.
From when you think about well-being as well, there's a thing that actually a friend of mine, another psychologist, friend of mine, he uses this, is it an acronym or a thing, or which I thought was actually really helpful and I think really relevant to what we're discussing. So I'm just pulling out on my phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Aha, there we go. It's called PERMA. So what promotes well-being? PERMA. So P stands for positive emotions, E stands for engagement, R would be respectful relationships, M for meaning and purpose, A accomplishment, and H health. So if you think about going to the gym, especially somewhere, a gym that has a really good community for you and your family, and doing a workout, it kind of fits in all of those areas, doesn't it? When you do a workout and you finish, you feel really good. You feel like you've achieved something.
Hmm.
You feel like, oh my gosh, like, I was really tired. I didn't feel like it, but I like, there's a sense of achievement, accomplishment, right?
Accomplishment.
I
Yeah.
did it,
Mm.
right? Oh my gosh, I finished a workout. Oh my gosh, can't believe I did that many things or I lifted that heavy thing. Health, right? Just like I just said before, like, when you exercise, all those neurochemicals are being released. So your health is a lot better. Meaning and purpose. People that go to gym because it's meaningful for them. Gives them sense of purpose as well, right?
Yep.
You're going there, you're doing something meaningful for you, whether that's, because you want to be healthy, so you don't, because of family history of health conditions, you want to be healthy for your children, so that they can see you being healthy because that's a value of your family that's meaningful and that's purposeful. Respectful relationships. If you go to gym, and I think this is the thing that I find different between working out at home, which sometimes can be really helpful for time, versus going to the gym, because there are respectful relationships there. You go in, you talk to trainers, there's some um, social interaction there, which we know is really helpful for mental health as well. And then you um, and that social interaction with other people in the class as well. Respectful relationships, really helpful for well-being. Engagement. You're engaging in something, engaging with people, engaging in activity, super helpful for well-being. And positive emotion. You go there, you have a good time, have a few laughs, a few fist bumps, amazing.
Mm.
So exercise is really helpful for well-being. It kind of really fits in there really nicely for that as well.
Yep.
Um, Now for specific things like anxiety, aerobic exercise reduces physical symptoms of anxiety. It can reduce muscle tension, reduce racing heart. A big thing actually is by training your body to tolerate and regulate arousal. So a lot of the things that I see in the clinic, for people who are anxious is actually a big problem that they're having is the experience of anxiety, the physiological sensations of anxiety. And a lot of the physiological arousal that you get when you feel anxious is very similar to how your body responds when you exercise. Your heart beats a lot faster, you get sweaty, your mind is racing, you get tunnel vision, your muscles are tense, your mouth gets dry. Um, you might get a ringing in your ear, like all those physical sensations you get when you're exercising. And when you're doing aerobic exercise, they mimic what you can get when you feel anxious. And so when you do that, you do train your body to tolerate that and regulate that. So
All
you
right.
don't become afraid of being anxious, which is super great. I know, right?
And
Interesting.
also probably distracts you from like things that make you anxious as well.
Not too much distraction, but it really helps in that practice of mindfulness. So
Mindfulness.
mindfulness is
That's kind of
something,
where I was
yeah,
heading. Like, you're a bit distracted.
yeah,
You've got a lot going on in your mind. There's things that are stressing you out. When you start exercising, you get to turn those things
focus.
off where you
You got
focus
to
on breathing and not tripping on a box or
correct. Yeah.
Mm,
So there's a lot of clear your mind, there's a lot of brain training. We often talk about, I think people use the term mindfulness a lot now, and there is this misconception that mindfulness is always just about sitting there breathing and meditating with your eyes shut and listening to the sound of calming water, and that's not actually true. You can do mindfulness really actively. Going to the gym is excellent mindfulness because you do have to be really present.
mm,
Mindful actually is really just about being connected to the present moment.
not
So,
thinking about what's happened or what's coming.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
and then,
And
but
that's what
I mean,
happens at the gym.
sometimes though, you got a 5 round workout and you're in the second round and you're already suffering and you're thinking about the fifth rounds.
Correct.
It's
And so this is
practicing
where
to not think about that.
yes, this is where
Yeah.
you're just mindful going, let's just focus on here.
Mm.
Or you're rowing, you've got like 2K row, you're rowing 500, you're like, I'm only a quarter way through. You go, nope, 500. Oh my gosh, look at that. Just in that moment when I was
Yeah.
freaking out, it's gone to
Focus on my
600.
strokes a minute and all the rest.
Shit, yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's go. And, that's super helpful because it is a skill that needs to be practiced and learned as well. It's brain gym, right? So
Mhm,
there you
mhm,
go. Physical and brain gym. For depression, interestingly, that's actually lots of research that shows that exercise is as effective as medication for
mhm.
mild to moderate depression. And especially when it's done consistently, because again, like with PERMA, there's structure, there's achievement, and there is distraction for negative thoughts. Instead of thinking about all the other things, you're thinking about your workout. And then there's that sense of achievement of what you're doing,
Mm,
right? Physically, when you exercise, it promotes blood flow to your brain, which helps in the growth of new neurons, which is super cool.
mhm.
Yeah. And it can
So
also
I
really
should be
support executive
super
functioning.
intelligent.
Yes, yes, you should. And you are. Boom. There you go. There you go. Super
Positivity.
helpful with memory. And I think that's why they've also talked about people with Alzheimer's doing more exercise is also really helpful. Again, with promoting more buffer, it can help with neuron development. Really helpful with concentration as well. So you find that like, people with ADHD, they do really well. Like you see like young kids at school, right? Young kids at school with ADHD, they do really well when they have lots more movement breaks. Exercise is super helpful at regulating that and then helping people to concentrate a lot better as well. And then if you exercise, it also then helps to regulate your circadian rhythm, which means your sleep is a lot better, which means then your overall mental health is a lot better. Um, yeah, so
Okay.
many benefits to exercise. So
Yeah,
good.
I like sleep. I like sleep.
Sleep is good. We like sleep.
Let's talk about motivation. We touched on
Yes.
it briefly, very briefly. What keeps us coming back? Why some people stick to it and some people fall off the wagon and stuff like that. Habit
Mm.
formation, discipline versus motivation. What's your take on I just don't have time?
Well, the
You don't want my take, but
my
I'm
take on
from a
it,
psychologist point of view.
oh, from a psychologist point of view, I was like, oh, from my personal take. No, no, if something is meaningful to you, make time. I think that's
Mm,
it is what it is though, isn't it? Like, we've all got, I hate that saying, but like everyone does have 24 hours in a day. And you do have to prioritize and choose what you do in that 24 hours.
mm.
It doesn't mean like, it doesn't mean you sleep less so you can exercise and you feel really shitty. But like, I think simple things like, I bet you if we get everyone to go on their phones and look at the digital well-being part of their phone and how long they're spending on their phone, it's
Yeah.
going to be at least an hour for most people.
Mm.
I think most people average about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, right.
That can be time very easily spent moving.
Yeah.
Exercise, and that's the thing though, like exercise doesn't need to be going to the gym and smashing out some big weights and doing this crazy hectic workout with dumbbells and all this shit. Like exercise can be something as simple as 2 minute AMRAP, 2 minute AMRAPs that we've got going at the gym at the moment.
Hmm.
Like a 4 minute Tabata.
Yep. Yeah. Monday,
That
Wednesday.
is better than, yeah, that is better than nothing.
Mm.
Because at the moment, we're like, if you're doing nothing, 2 minutes is something.
Yep.
And then you can build from there, right? Because then it starts to feel good. You get addicted to the endorphins. You start to feel that sense of achievement, and then we kind of go from there.
A walk after
Um,
dinner.
yeah, a walk after dinner, I think over COVID we've learned so many different little hacks as well. People have walking pads, walking pads at your desk.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it doesn't need to be expensive or fancy. A jump rope. Get a jump rope. If you can't jump, yeah, a walk after dinner, going up and down the stairs if you have
Perfect travel
stairs.
companion, that one. Yeah. Mm.
Sorry?
Perfect travel companion. Skipping
Yeah,
rope.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Skipping
Mm.
rope. It's really great. Yeah. So I don't know if it's so much I don't have time, but it's more of I wonder if it's more of a I haven't prioritized the time to do it. Because it is hard, because it does involve change.
Mm.
It involves change from the norm. A simple habit takes about 60 repetitions in order for it, a simple but become a habit. Oh, sorry. Just
Sure. I
stop
got
that.
you. Yeah. It just be.
Cool.
You're right.
Yeah, simple behavior takes 60 repetitions to become a habit. So that's a simple behavior. So you think about exercise, that's not simple, right? That is quite complex. It involves a lot of things. It involves lots of planning. It involves, that tolerance to discomfort, all those sorts of things. It's not simple. It is going to take more than 60 repetitions to get it done. And it's not going to be easy 60 repetitions as well,
Hmm.
right? So it's change is hard, and that's where again comes back to systems. Your systems need to account for that.
Mm.
Account for the fact that sometimes it's going to fail, and that's okay.
Mm.
It doesn't mean that it's all fucked now.
Mm.
So if the plan was to do like a 20-minute walk every day after dinner, and you start Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like, yes, go me, and Friday you're like, oh, I'm gonna have some margaritas with my friends into your walk. It's not all fucked now.
Mm.
It hasn't taken away from the walks you did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Go for a walk on Saturday.
Yeah.
You
Just
can't do it at
stop and start
night. Yeah,
again.
can't do it at night. Okay, go in the morning then.
Yeah,
Like, do
absolutely.
something different. Can't go for a 20-minute walk. Okay, well then why don't we just do some air squats or watching TV? Like
Hmm.
you can do some air squats while making pizza.
Mm.
Josh and I got one of those over the door pull-up bars. So
Hmm.
then every time we went to the walked into the kitchen, you had to do 3 pull-ups.
I'm just waiting for that to be on a YouTube blooper channel where it snaps off. Be careful on those things.
But I know we like there's no keeping, but it was really good. So like when my parents came to visit,
Yeah.
actually it was really interesting. My parents came to visit. They started to get into it as well. So like my dad would,
I can
I'd
visit your
come
dad.
down. I come down and I see him on the pull-up bar, and
Yeah.
mum's going, "Oh, you need to teach your dad, like, how to get those pull-ups." I'm like, "Yeah, let's put a stool here. You can use the children's stool, and you can do a slow eccentric release." It was so great. But yeah, like,
He's back in
it's
Singapore now?
he's back in Singapore now, yeah. But they've
Just
got an
hasn't
exercise
it?
bike,
Yeah.
and they're doing it.
Yeah,
Exercise
cool.
bike every day. So
Yeah, well,
good.
look, you're rubbing off on your parents. And I guess the hope is that you're rubbing off on your children as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the whole, and yeah, like to be honest, it is that it's rubbing off on my parents because they're getting old. Dad's turning 70 next year and he's got a history of heart disease. Mum's starting to get high blood pressure as well. Like, they're getting old. Obviously, I think most people would like their parents to live forever. So it would be nice if they start to do that. And they have, which I'm really excited about. And rubbing off on my children as well.
I mean,
Think,
most of your kids have watched you train their whole life.
yeah.
They come and watch you.
And
They're
yeah.
also doing sport themselves. They're playing football and things like that. Do you see any
Mm,
things rubbing off on them as far as that goes? Are they are they mimicking what you do by any chance? Or,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
We
it's nothing unusual to see them participate in the warm up. Ian has a great down dog, you know.
He does. Yeah, no, they come home and they do burpees. So I
Is it
think
your kids are young?
yeah, so Ethan's 8, Elijah's 5, and Ian's 2. So I
Mm.
think the 8-year-olds kind of we're getting to 8-year-old phase. So we're not mimicking as much anymore, but
Sure.
we're thinking about it. We talk about a lot more.
Mhm.
And I mean he is quite active. He's in school, like, they do a lot at school, handball all the time. After school, they're playing sport, they do swimming before school. So, I think we're pretty good there. Um, like with Elijah and Ian, they like, they come to the gym, they do crazy things, then they come home and I go like, "Oh, did you tell your dad what you did today?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I did wall walk." So they go, "Oh, look at me." And they're really excited to show off their burpees, to show off their wall walks. They
Cool.
talk about hanging on the bar, which is really exciting to hear. Because like, I grew up without a lot of that exposure. And so all of those movements and the gym to me was quite intimidating and scary. And I love that they are comfortable in that space. They're comfortable enough to go run into the gym and just swing off the bars. They're comfortable enough with the trainers to go, "Hey, Terrell, can you put me on the bar and like let me hang?" And I think that's so awesome because then they're not afraid. And when they're not afraid, when they're old enough, and some of them have said, I think Elijah has said, "I want to do CrossFit too." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so awesome." And like, secretly, not so secretly, kind of like, yes, it's great. Love this for me. Um, but I think it's cool. Like it's because they're not afraid, right? They're not afraid of like the gym is big and scary. It's only for adults. And I think when I grew up, that was the vibe. Like, the gym is only for adults. Oh, you can't touch the barbell. It's gonna drop on you and then you'll break something and you'll get really hurt. All these big signs I remember growing up, at like the gyms, it's like, oh, 16 and above only. You're like, oh, the gym is so scary. Oh no, I hurt myself.
Hmm.
So
It's
I
good
love
for your
that.
resilience.
Yes, it does. It does show some resilience, and that's actually a really big thing that I'm really mindful of in the workouts as well. So, sometimes we go to the gym and the kids will ask me, "Oh, how was your workout?" Josh will ask me how the workouts went. Come back and go, "You know what? Actually, that was really hard. I really struggled. Oh, those last 10 burpees were really hard." And I remember when I first came back, Ethan or Elijah would say, "Oh, mommy, you were last. You finished workout last." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I finished it." And it was really important for me that they got to see that like me going to the gym, it wasn't, and doing the workouts, it wasn't about winning. Why is
Sound,
it doing?
it's all right. Look good.
Yeah. It wasn't about winning and being first and finishing first. It was actually about getting it done and giving it my best shot.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, so like, I would say like, oh, I came in, I was second last. Oh, that really pushed me. I'm so glad I did it.
Mm.
I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And Josh go, "Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing." So that they got to see like, yeah, it's not always about doing the best. And sometimes if you don't do really well, it's okay. It's still about the fact that you gave it your best shot.
Mhm.
And that's really important to see. And, I see that now in Ethan when he does rugby as well. He's not so much focused on did we win? Did I score? Try it. I gave it my best shot.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, as a parent, something that I'm really proud to see that in my child.
Yeah, and some people get distracted by that. I mean, if you if you have that mentality going into things, it's not so much that you don't want to win. It's just that you're not going to, you know, turning up consistently is the takeaway, right? So if you
Yeah.
if you get to the point where I don't win, so I don't go back, um, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if they're content with just turning up and having a good time, whether it's exercise or sport or, games, the
Yeah.
idea is that, and that's why we kind of encourage that mentality of just sort of, hey, let's just show up.
Mm,
Because if you're like, see the workout and go, oh, that's not my workout. Oh, I'm not going to perform well on that. I'm not going to turn up. The same would apply for sport. If I can't win or I like winning, I'm not winning. I mean, that might encourage you to get better, the desire to win. But
mm.
if it dampens your mood and you don't ever come back, that's where we lose people.
Well,
But
exactly. And actually,
it's
like,
not a
you were
case of
talking.
like, oh, that's a loser mentality. It's not a loser mentality. You can still have a winning mentality, but just, you know, don't get so beat up on yourself. Like you said before, you
Yeah.
so harsh on yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point as well. That, when we were talking before about like coming back now versus like 9 years ago when I was training. Um, I think 8, 9 years ago, I would cherry pick workouts. If I would read up on a workout, and if I saw it was really hard, straight away in my mind was like, oh, that's too hard. Oh, I can't, there's so many thrusters. This is really shit. Where now, going like looking at a workout, it's like, okay, well, it's just a workout.
Mm,
Okay, well, it's just 15 minutes, just 20 minutes.
mm,
I usually now only pre-read workouts to plan my outfit.
mm,
Um, you know, in terms of like what grips do I need, what shoes should I wear, what's a good thing, like what's helpful, rather than, oh, that's too hard for me. I'm not going to do it.
mm,
Yeah, it's that, okay, well, we're just going in there, we're just going to get it done
mm,
and it'll be fine. And you know what? If I can't get it done, I can't get it done.
mm,
And I think and that's okay too.
mm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right, moving on again. The cognitive load of motherhood. All right. So we'll talk about why the gym's more than just a physical space. It's a good
Mm,
place for you to go and sort of not switch off, but
yeah.
escape, a mental break, me time. Uh,
Yeah.
can training actually be restorative for the mind?
Yeah, 100%. Um,
What happens with our brains when we finally put ourselves first?
well, you fill your cup first, right? There's that saying you can't pour from an empty cup. The rest of that saying is that you pour from the overflow.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you focus on yourself and fill your cup first, you have more capacity to fill your children's cups and to keep giving to them,
Yes.
right? I
Yeah.
think the idea that I fill my cup and then I pour out, it's like that, I don't know, it's a deficit growth mindset, deficit mindset, but then it's always like there's this idea that, oh, I fill up and then I pour and then I'm empty and then I have to fill again, where we need to think about it as it needs to be sustainable. So
Mm,
that overflow is really important. It's not selfish. It's really important there for you to have that space and that time for yourself. That's you. And I think going to the gym in that time where you can focus on who you are, because when you're a parent, you're not just a parent. I
mm.
think like a lot of the times, yes, we have to wear the parent hat, right? Especially when children are young. I think when children are older, it's easier because they have more independence, but you never take that hat off ever at all. I don't think my parents have taken that hat off for like the last 40 years. It is what it is, right? Um, but you know, you do have different roles. You're a parent, but you're also still a partner. You're still, a daughter or a son. You're still, you have your professional role. You're still a friend. Like you're still all these roles, and I think it's still really important to make sure that you are still tapping into each of these. So, exercise gives you a space to focus on that part of your identity that can be really important to you. And when we talk about fitting cups as well, it's not just about fitting cups in like one role, but it's also about fitting cups in all different areas because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm,
It's not helpful for yourself. It's not sustainable. It's also not helpful for your self-esteem because newsflash, it doesn't always go well. Sometimes you have shitty days as a parent.
mm.
Everyone has shitty days as a parent. I'm sure you can relate to that as well. Like some days parenting is super great. Some days it's really shit.
I've never
Um, you
experienced
know, oh, really? Oh, you're so lucky.
it.
But there are days where you go, you're like, oh man, I was such a shit job, I was such a shit parent. So if you only focus on filling your parenting basket, what happens in those days where, like, your kid comes to you like, I hate you, mummy. I hate you because you didn't buy me a show bag at the Egger. well, then shit, man, like your basket's broken. And then like, you're professional. Like some days, you go to work and it's not a great day. Or some days, you and your partner might have a disagreement or something. That's not a great day. Or maybe you have a disagreement with your parents, or you have a disagreement with a friend, so you don't have a friendship falling out. If you put all your eggs in only one basket, that's not going to be really helpful for your self-esteem and your identity. So it's really important to pour it to make sure that there is a balance in all those baskets. And going to the gym can be really helpful then in terms of just branching out from just being a parent
Mm,
to doing something that's just for you.
mm.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, all right. So just I won't hold you up too much longer. It's last thing I
That's
talk
okay.
about burnout, balance, and boundaries. All right.
Hmm.
Um, obviously burnout, really probable amongst parents, especially for parents.
Yeah.
Um, and I'd like to ask you if there's any ways you have to protect your own mental health, avoiding overload without guilt,
Communicate.
without
Sorry?
guilt, without guilt.
Communicating really openly with your partner
Hmm.
or your support system.
Hmm.
So I found over time just being really open with my support system on what I need rather than expecting them to recognize and doing like, unloading the dishwasher and like banging it and going, no one's doing the dishwasher. And I'm so angry. And why is no one looking at me? But actually going, okay, I'm actually really tired. I'm feeling really burnt out. I'm feeling like I'm doing a lot at the moment. I'd really like some help.
Hmm.
Um, that open communication has been really helpful. It also means that then you're not building up resentment. It allows you to talk about it's like that idea of having regular family meetings, right? Like having that meeting because things needs are always shifting and adjusting in your family. So then you're able to talk through what is going on and then make a plan. Again, comes back to that first quote you talked about, right? It's we fall to levels of our systems. And I think burnout can be managed if we look at our systems and regularly checking with our systems and how that's going. Um, Making sure that there is balance and also holding your boundaries. Can you ever get rid of the guilt? I don't know. I feel like guilt probably. Do you know what? Actually, what I'm gonna say is that I think guilt is okay to feel. I
Hmm.
think as people, we have been really conditioned to this idea that unpleasant feelings are bad and intolerable, and we shouldn't experience them. And if we feel bad feelings, unpleasant feelings like guilt, like it being angry, anxious, frustrated, sad, something is wrong.
Hmm.
Um, or it's wrong to feel that way more. That's more accurate. It's wrong to feel that way. And I don't think that's actually true. I think all feelings are valid feelings and all feelings are really important because it tells you something really meaningful and important. And I think if we are feeling guilty when we prioritize ourselves, like, by going to the gym, for example, rather than going to the park and playing with our children, or we feel guilty for doing a workout while our kids are watching, I don't know, a TV show just so that you can do a workout. I don't think that's bad. I think it just tells you that you feel guilty because your children are important to you.
Mm.
You feel guilty because you're not spending that time with them. And
Mm.
that's okay because then we need to come back to, so why am I doing what I'm doing then?
Mm.
Because it's okay to have two feelings that don't match. It's okay to feel guilt, but also feel relief. Does that make sense? Like I
Absolutely.
can feel guilty for coming to the gym. My children are going, Mommy, I don't want to go to the gym. I want to go to the playground. Can we go and see the koalas? And I'm going, no, actually, I want to do the workout today. I think that happened on Friday. They were deadlifts, and I'm like, I haven't done deadlifts in a while. I want to come to the gym. They're like, oh, I want to go see the koalas. I felt really guilty, but then I also felt really good for going to the gym. And I think it's okay to have two feelings. You need to hold space and have respect for them. The guilt tells you that, or the guilt told me that it's really important for me to spend time with my children on days I'm not working. But it's also the enjoyment I got from going to gym also told me that going to the gym was really helpful and important to me. So then how do you deal with that guilt? By recognizing I'm going to the gym because the gym is something that's really helpful for not only me, but also for my family.
Mm.
Because if I don't look after myself, that's going to mean that I am a shittier person. I am shitty and angry. I will then, snap it. I will snap more easily at my children, which then will be really against then my values of who I want to be as a parent.
Mm.
So it's okay to feel guilty for that time.
Yep.
That makes sense?
No, it does. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that
Awesome.
was a really long answer to your question
No, no,
of
no,
guilt.
no, that's kind of it because it summarizes the next question I was going to ask. And it's like, what advice do you have for people, mums and dads out there that are confronting burnout and advice for them? And that kind of summarizes that in a sense of what you just said.
Mm,
But if there is
yeah.
anything other parting information you could share.
Well, I think maybe like, more specifically, if you think that you're experiencing burnout, I think it'd be really important to sit down and have a look at, okay, if I'm experiencing burnout, what's going on? Where am I spending my time? What cups are not being filled, and having a chat with your support people about how you can go about doing that. And if it's really hard, because I get that I recognize that I am in a position of privilege where I'm not working full time and I have a partner who is really supportive of my pursuits. And I recognize that not everyone is in that position. Then have a think of what systems can you put in place that are going to work for your family. And this might mean finding a gym that you can bring your children to, that you can do that you can incorporate in the workout, building a village that can do that. If it's too expensive, what are some things that I can put in place for now to help? It may be thinking about I might need to cut back on the coffees I have so that I can afford going to the gym, or it may mean taking smaller steps like going for a morning walk or doing small things, using my kid as a weight as I do like squats with them and do thrusters with them, things like that. Um, Prioritizing things that are important for you and always checking in with how that's going and how it's working for you, because it's not going to be a one size fits all, and giving yourself a break, not being so hard on yourself when things aren't going so well, because it's going to be a process.
Mm,
It's not, there's no one, it's not a direct answer, if that makes sense.
mm.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So make space for it. Find things that are going to work for you. It's a trial and error as well.
Mm,
Um, but then come back to, I think that perma thing is really, really helpful. Come back to, am I doing things that fit in any of those categories? Where is there a deficit?
mm,
How can I do things, small things, smart goals, small achievable steps that are going to be helpful for me? So maybe it's changing my dinner cheesecake to something more healthy so that I
mm,
start to feel good,
mhm.
going for an evening walk, stuff like that.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks, Steph.
No worries, Simon. Hope
Appreciate
that
your
was
time.
helpful. That's
No,
all
it is
good.
absolutely. All that's good information.
Oh,
And
glad.
hopefully
That was really
it
fun.
makes an impact with somebody.
Yeah, awesome. Glad. That was really fun.